Well, it's 7:05. I don't know why folks are so late, but again, we don't have a quorum, so we cannot start. Oh, there's one more.
Hi,
Good evening, Heath.
how are you?
Good. We haven't started yet.
Okay, perfect. It took me a while to get in.
Yeah, we're waiting for Marty and Brian.
Okay.
And I forget if Max was going to be able to make it or not.
I think you said no.
I think he said no.
Did he? I thought that's right. Today's no, but next week is a maybe or something. Yeah. Of the. Well, technically we have a quorum, but you know what? I really want to wait for Marty and Brian. Well, I spoke to both of them yesterday, and they both said they'd be on. So, all right, folks, just bear with us. While we're waiting, Ryan, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a PowerPoint that you're going to share with us tonight, or how did you want to do this?
Oh yeah, I can share. We're just gonna show the plans and that color display I sent to you earlier today. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I already checked share screen, so you can do that. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Yep. I have access. And then we can also talk about the lighting for phase one, but I don't want to get the two projects mixed up. So, but yeah.
I mean, it's all the same project, just different phases, right?
You are correct. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But we got to get the lighting question settled. So
yeah.
And that'll be an easy one, I hope.
Yeah, it's really option A or option B. That's all it is, because that's all the ones that match it. So
match and that somehow PSE&G is willing to buy. I mean, you know, we can't specify something that's not in their program.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Something similar, that's probably the best we can do. All right, folks, let me give it 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to start the meeting at 7:10 in respect for our guests. Oh, here's Brian. Give me 1 second to. On to. Yeah, we haven't started yet, Brian. We're good. I'm just waiting for Marty now. Okay. Brian?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Marty's having technical issues. Would you mind calling him and see if you could walk him through that? And I'm gonna start the meeting because we're already 15 minutes late.
Okay.
Or would you have his cell number there?
I don't know that I do. Would you be able to give it to me quickly?
Sure. Hold on. All right, his contact is coming through to you in a text.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, all right, let's get the meeting started because it is 7:15. Okay, this is a Township of West Orange Historic Preservation Commission meeting. Today is July 8th, 2026. Notice of the date, time, and location of the meeting was given to the township clerk and has been posted on the township bulletin board and the township website in accordance with the requirements of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act and the provisions of Public Law 2025 C-72. Notifications, including the fact that the meeting will be a virtual meeting and the information needed to join the meeting as a video conference has been posted. Okay, I will call the roll. I'm here. Marty, I presume, will be here. Brian is here. Max will be absent tonight. Andrea is here. Cynthia is absent. Heath is here. Jeff will be absent. And Heidi is here. Okay. As I mentioned in email, we're going to have a second meeting this month, which will be next Wednesday at 7. And I'll send out the Zoom information for that. And that meeting is going to be meeting with the architect and the property owners of the Condit House to try and see if we can wrap up all the remaining issues and then issue their certificates so they can begin work on the exterior of the building. So you recall last meeting, we did approve all the elements of the retaining walls, and we did issue a certificate so they can begin building on those walls. The only thing that hasn't happened with that, I'll give you that as an update. They have to bring to the job site samples of the facing stone that they're going to use over the concrete block. And as soon as they do, Marty and I will go up and look at it. If it looks like what we approved at the meeting, then we'll say, go right ahead, use it. So I'm still waiting for them to let me know when they're gonna have that stone on site. All right, and that's the update on that. Minutes from the June 10th meeting, I'm gonna distribute those prior to the next meeting. Okay, someone's texting me. Sorry, folks, hold on one second. It's Brian and Marty. Bear with me, I'm sorry. It looks like actually he's logging in. He must have gotten through it all.
Here I am.
Ah, okay, perfect. Okay, I just called the roll and mentioned that we have a second meeting next week, and that's going to be devoted to the Condit House issues. And that minutes for the June 10th meeting are going to be distributed before next week's meeting. I think the only person here from the public is Darren Tobias from the Four Oranges. Is anyone else here? No? Darren, is there anything you want to say to the commission, or you're just observing tonight?
Just observing tonight. Good to see you all.
Okay, very good. All right, then we'll move on to current business. We only have one subject tonight, and that's the Washington Street Corridor Project. Ryan Mangano from Greenman, Peterson, is going to do a presentation on phase 2 of the project. You recall that some months ago, they did a presentation on phase 1. There's one small housekeeping item that we have to talk about tonight from phase 1, but the meeting actually will be devoted to phase 2. And our township engineer, Beth Carballo, is also with us tonight. Ryan, do you want to jump into phase 2, or shall we deal with the phase 1 question first?
Probably best to just jump into phase 2, and then we can transition when we talk about the streetscape lighting into the phase 1. So thank you very much for the introduction, Brian. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Hopefully this works out okay. Share. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Just checking.
Yes.
Yes.
These materials I did distribute to Brian prior to the meeting. This one got a little late because of the file size, but Brian, if you want, you could distribute these to your commission members afterwards and anybody else who would like to see them. They're for public use. But as Brian mentioned, phase 1 of this project we presented to the commission back in, I believe, March of 2025 last year. And now we are here discussing phase 2, the extension of the Washington Street corridor improvements. If you may recall, the first phase 1 was from Main Street, was on Washington Street, starting at Main Street and running down to the intersection of Liberty Street and High Street. And this is a continuation of the project from where the first project terminates, all the way down to the township of West Orange and the city of Orange municipal boundary. We have some new information regarding the streetscape amenities that have been included in this project through our coordination with Essex County. I'm having, is everybody's screen still working?
Mhm.
Sorry about that. My screen just crashed.
Related project?
Yeah, it just crashed. I'll pull it up in 1 second. Sorry, but
Like a great bridge project you have there.
oh, it's not mine. I think it was just an AI thing I found. Sorry about this. I guess the file was too big. I'll pull this up right where we were. But as I was saying, the streetscape amenities, we did hear feedback from Essex County. Essex County did not entertain the amenities that were picked out by the township and the Downtown Alliance. They have a similar project in the vicinity on Main Street that they told us that we have to follow their streetscape amenities, and that is the following: park benches, bicycle racks, tree guards, as well as trash receptacles and recycling. Hopefully this pulls up. I don't know what's happening, but similar to phase 1, I'm sorry, folks, I really should have this pulled up by now. I don't know.
Take your time, we're in no rush.
Hey, Steve, are you on the call?
Yes.
Steve's my coworker. Hey, Steve, can you share your screen? For some reason, I can't launch Bluebeam.
I'm not on my computer. I apologize.
No problem. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. Let me see if I can open it as a... Fortunately, these file sizes are so large that it takes a second to get everything open. Let's see if we can do it through this. Okay, here we go. I got it pulled up. We're avoiding the software. We're just going launching off of this right here. Okay, are we back? Can everyone see this again? Sorry about that.
Yes, yeah, looks good.
As I was saying, I'm just going to reiterate the trash receptacles, the park benches, the tree guards, as well as the bicycle racks were given to us from Essex County. Since Washington Street is in fact a county road, they said that they want these amenities installed similar to a project they have in the vicinity. So we will be following their advisement there. Phase 2 is very similar to phase 1, in which we will be installing a,
So let me back up. Washington Street is considered a county road?
Washington Street is a county road. Yep. It's County Road 671.
Okay.
So the phase 2 project is similar to the phase 1 improvements, where we'll be having a 3-foot stamped concrete paver buffer strip. We'll be taking out the old brick pavers that are there and replacing it with a more easier to maintain strip of stamped concrete that's going to match the same sections as before. We'll be installing ADA compliant crosswalks, as well as ADA ramps for improved accessibility as well. This project is a part of the 2023 Transportation Alternatives Program, subsequent to phase 1, which was part of the 2020 TAP Transportation Alternatives Program. So it's the same exact process for the township. It's the same exact program, same exact funding cycle and whatnot. This was just the general look at this, and I can pull up the plans here. So this is what our plans look like currently. This is the cover sheet, typical sections. You can see we'll be replacing the existing concrete curb, as well as a minor roadway repair strip. And this stamped concrete paver strip will be right behind it. Your 4-foot sidewalk, and then however sidewalk you need to meet any storefronts or tying to existing conditions. Here's the plans and how they look with phase 1 of the project. Phase 1 is this light, very, very gray section, just to show how they tie in and whatnot. As you can see, we're repairing concrete driveways, anything in our project limits to enforce the cultural aesthetic of the Washington Street and the local businesses, and then the neighborhood as it gets closer to the city of Orange. I'll go to the next sheet here, which is our striping and lighting. I can zoom in a little bit, hopefully. There we go. So this is going to be showing our locations of street trees, some park benches, and most of your streetscape amenities. If I'm going too fast at all, do not be afraid to speak up. And if you have any questions, please feel free. The street trees, we're going to have about 12 to 15, depending on how we can fit them within the project limits, which will be an increase to the ones that were there before. We will be removing approximately 5 existing trees for this project. They'll be replaced with these new trees as well, along with tree guards to help for maintenance with them. Bicycle racks will be seen sporadically throughout them, as well as trash cans and other park benches, improvements, and whatnot. This project we currently have extending slightly past the township line. This is the Township of West Orange line. This is the City of Orange. This is because, as per requirements given to us by NJDOT, Borough Environmental Protection Resources, aka BEPR, we have to find a reasonable terminus of the project. We can't just stop the project at the town line. They wanted us to extend the project to Meade Street, and then across the street we met a reasonable terminus where the original streetscape ended, on the opposite side of the roadway. So, yeah, that's the general ideas of the amenities with the project. And this is a pedestrian safety project, so the whole point of this is to make the limits of the project ADA compliant and for better accessibility for the locals and businesses as well for this district. Anybody have any questions? I can keep going. I just wanted to check in with everybody. I know I kind of threw a lot at you.
Just a comment. I mean, I don't see much changed from our last discussion beyond, the county saying, no, these are the amenities we want, and basically we don't care what the township wants. This is what we're putting in. So what are the big differences that, you want to bring to the table tonight?
So this is phase 2 of the project. So in terms of difference between our first meeting, there's really not much, except it's just the extension of the project, which we wanted to bring to your attention, the Historic Commission's attention, as well as those Essex County touches. There is a very important note as well for this project. So you might be seeing this dashed line all the way around the project limit. There is actually an Essex County project that will be, to my knowledge, will be going to, I believe it's already in the construction phase, but I don't believe they broke ground here. For Essex County, they had about, I think, a 10 to 12 intersection project, and the Watchung Avenue and Washington Street intersection was mentioned. In terms of what's going to happen next, that has to get figured out with the funding resources and whatnot. If this project scope gets limited due to the recent improvements that are going to be happening with the Essex County project, that's still kind of a big up in the air question that we're waiting to hear from DOT and division office, because they're the ones who are ultimately going to tell us how much we have to scale down the project, if anything at all, for all we know. But as of right now, we're continuing with our full scope, which was the full streetscape from the curb all the way to the business fronts and the end of the right of way. That's currently our scope.
Is there a problem that, with the funding? I mean, is this because it's a multi-cycle funding, or what's the issue? I mean, I had always assumed, since they've contracted for all your work, that they had a plan to fund this.
No, the funding is fully secured. This project is actually, the Transportation Alternatives Project is receiving federal funding. So that funding's already been allocated, granted. There's no question about this funding for this project. The only, I may have misspoke earlier, the only question about the funding would be if the construction gets limited because recent improvements were just done in the area. If that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
But
And these,
go ahead.
the
Sorry.
area within the line, you're not sure if that's actually occurred yet, or?
No, the dash line, this area has not occurred yet. That we do know. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm not involved with Essex County construction. I've asked them to let me know when they do break ground, but as you know, communication's a two-way street, so.
If it helps, I attended a kickoff meeting for the reconstruction meeting for the Essex County, I will say about a month and a half ago, and they're expected to start on the other cities or townships within Essex County. It's 12 intersections, and I believe West Orange is gonna be the last two that will be done. So I will say they probably will either start working at this intersection towards the end of the year, or maybe, the spring of next year, depending.
Do you have any additional plans showing the tree pit details and
Oh, yes.
tree selection?
Yep, I have the actual details that we are going to be providing to the state regarding the bicycle rack, the trash receptacle, the benches, and the tree guard as well. And the last thing I will be touching on is the lighting, because that kind of ties us into the phase 1 lighting, but I wanted to make sure we answered any and all questions for phase 2. Anything?
Well, the size of the tree pit is very narrow, and I know that's to fit within the 3-foot previous lawn strip, but it's very narrow, and it's I don't know the widths of the sidewalks in that area, if they're wider and would allow for a wider tree pit. But it's often common now to have it wider than that strip, just because you'll end up with the trees surviving longer.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Due to, unfortunately, the sidewalk at the widest point, it's really only between 7 to maybe 8 or 9 feet wide at that area. And we have to allocate, no matter what, 4 feet for a compliant ADA sidewalk. So that 3-foot minimum, that's kind of what we're showing, that no matter what, we're going to have at least 3 foot in width. They're going to be wide if they have growth to go laterally rather than perpendicular to the roadway. Hopefully that it grows parallel. But that is a very good point. Unfortunately, just due to the lack of space, really, we really can't take up too much more sidewalk for the trees without taking away from the roadway, which was denied from Essex County when we did phase 1 of this project. The original intention was to bump the curb out 2 feet into the roadway, so you get 2 more feet of sidewalk, which would give you 2 more feet for that strip for the planter beds to go in and whatnot for the trees. But unfortunately, that was denied during the phase 1, and phase 2 is just the same. That's a very good point, though, Heidi. Yep.
And there's overhead wires, at least on one side of the street, right? And because I saw a note saying small deciduous tree. Where would we see the plant list for the selected trees?
The actual selected of the trees, we would work with the township for whatever trees they would like to install. Nowadays, we can install just about anything. You can get trees that only grow a certain height. That way they won't impact those wires at all. They'll only be about 8 feet max in height. Or you can get, normally in these areas, you don't
need it quite that low. I'm a landscape architect, so I know about that stuff. That's why I wanted to see the list, to see what it was.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're just in preliminary engineering. We haven't, that's kind of like the nitty gritty we haven't really dialed into yet. That's a very good question. Yeah.
If it helps, the plan is to provide this set of plans to the forester, to the township forester, to pick the trees. Typically, that's what I've been having him do for every single one of our roadway projects. And once I have the list, I could definitely share it with Brian, and he could provide it to you, 80.
That would be great.
All right.
Yeah, it's the narrow width is actually going to dictate.
Yes.
Not the height now.
No.
Because trees don't just grow in a linear way, and you wouldn't want them to, because they're going to fall over either on cars or on a person.
Absolutely. But yeah,
So,
I will have the forester pick a list of trees, and that way, we pick something that actually fits in the space that is provided, and it doesn't interfere with the overhead wires. But once again, I will have the list provided to Brian once he does, okay?
Great.
Thank you.
Was there any other questions regarding the plans, any proposed improvements? Any comments at all, if you think we should be looking at other items?
You know, I think in phase one, I mean, you know, we went over things like curb cuts, ADA compliance, which were all important to us. You know, the placement of the fixtures, I mean, that hasn't changed. It's just the style and the model, as it were, that the county is gonna, you know, pick that to match other projects they've done. But I'll just assume they're not horrible and they'll look fine when they go in, but I mean, we had a long discussion about that, and I thought we were reasoned in why we picked what we picked. You know, county rules on this one, so that's fine. But there's no changes to the quantity or their placement, right?
That is correct. There's no changes to the quantities or the locations in phase one. That is correct. Yeah.
All right. Regarding phase two, I don't have any more questions. Anyone else have questions or comments?
My, my only comment is that the trash cans, the bench, the bike rack, all have a somewhat contemporary look, but the street lights look like they were put up in the 1890s. I don't know, yeah.
They don't go together.
So that you know, the trash racks, the bike racks, and the benches and the trash receptacles, they were actually picked to match what, if you remember, I would say a couple of months ago, Essex County made a presentation to the improvements along Main Street for their project. And I remember that one of the comments were during that meeting that, you know, we make sure that we keep everything sort of like uniform across the township. So that's the reason why these are the trash receptacles and park benches and, you know, bike racks that are shown.
Okay, as I said, it's just a comment, and you can leave it there at that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, but to follow up, Marty, are you suggesting that we just go with a contemporary streetlight? I mean, the PSE&G has many options here. They were just end up to, because originally our idea was, well, our idea of continuity was to try and match the ones that were put in by the Edison site. But if
Well, here you have a situation where Washington Street crosses the border and becomes, you know, the City of Orange project. So they're doing their end of it. We're doing ours. I can understand the county saying, keep it all the same. I just find it odd that their standard didn't look to put more traditional designed benches or bike racks. And yeah, it's a dilemma. I gather most of northern New Jersey is all connected. You can be driving through 3 towns that, you know, within a minute or so. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't have started out doing it this way. I think on Main Street we were trying to keep a more traditional look. It is what it is.
well, yeah, I mean, it seems to be out of our hands. But is it appropriate at this point to, if we're moving on to go back to phase one, there, you know, to pick streetlights, the 2 that are available from PSE&G that are close to what we wanted. we can certainly do that, or we can say, you know, what modern street fixture does PSE&G use? I mean, if, you know, if that's what folks feel will blend more. Heidi, what's your opinion?
You would typically want all the furnishings to match with the light fixtures and for consistency, just as Marty's talking about. But if the county's put us into a situation where you also want to match the existing. So we have the existing lights, and now we've got mismatched site furnishings, which frankly are pretty ugly. So I don't know what the lights are in orange. I mean, why the county is pushing back on site furnishings and not the lighting, if the lighting is different in orange and in the surrounding areas. Maybe because it's PSE&G owned and not county owned. I don't know. So it's, if the area itself is not tied that closely with Main Street, it would make sense to have a different light fixture to go with the site furnishings.
Ryan, is the county aware of this lighting question?
Of the lighting, of the yeah,
So
so
the fixtures, do they know about it? Does the county know about this? To Heidi's point, it looks like, you know, they jumped right in about the other items, but they're silent about this so far.
yeah, they are aware that we are installing streetscape lighting for phase 1 and phase 2, and they never commented about a certain type that we use. They're indifferent about it, I should say.
And the county has no preference?
The county has no preference because they're not involved. This is a venture that's solely basically with the township of West Orange that gets funded by the township and whatnot, since the lighting, for this project, we're installing the foundations and the electrical conduit. PSE&G then comes back and installs the fixtures and the actual luminaires, and then that's a contract between PSE&G and the township. You know, a monthly fee for the wattage used and whatnot, and the county is just kind of like off to the side, like that. That's between the town and PSE&G.
Okay. Can you come back to us with some fixtures that might blend with the other amenities?
Yeah, for what I'm gathering is we don't want to match the Thomas Edison house anymore.
Let's see what our options are on this.
Is the one that's shown in your drawings the same as the ones that are being used in the Edison area?
Yeah, so this is the one that we have in our drawing because this was the one that we thought we could use. This is the one that is currently at the Edison Historical Museum.
Right.
However, PSE&G informed me this exact light fixture is not part of their program. They sent me 2 fixtures that are similar, that they obviously need buy-in from us of what we want to do. So that's also a reason for this meeting as well. So this is what the existing lighting looks like. I do have some photos, but unfortunately I can't pull them up right now.
Yeah, but I think those cut sheets were included in what I sent to everyone. So
yeah,
right now the Hadco one is the one that's in front of the Edison site, correct? And
yeah.
that's not in the program. So the 2 that you came back to us and said, well, it's kind of close. The one manufactured by Streetworks and the other one by American Electric Lighting. So those are the 2 you sent to us. Look, we're going to meet again next week. We could certainly take a few minutes off the front of that meeting and take up this lighting question again. If you can send us something else from the PSE&G program that you think is going to be more appropriate with what essentially is the county's selection of the amenities, then why don't we just do that? I mean, we can't do it in the dark tonight. And I think Heidi makes a very good point, as does Marty. It's just, you know, how mismatched do we want to get here? I think we were more on track with a lighting fixture like this when we had specified certain amenities, because that, with that out the window, I think we have to shift gears.
My take on it is a little bit different. I think I'd rather see the light fixtures have continuity throughout the different neighborhoods in the town. The park benches, the one that stands out to me is not really being in sync with the lines of the other pieces. The tree guards don't bother me. The bike rack is innocuous, but the bench is the one that to me is misplaced in the aesthetic component here. And the park benches are going to come and go. These light fixtures are going to be around. Like, we're not going to reinstall these light fixtures in another 15 years. These are going to stay. So I'm not saying we can do anything about the benches, but I think if we all look at each one of the elements individually and in combination, it's the bench that's the wrong material and it feels out of place. Just my 2 cents.
But that's the most prominent amenity. The tree guards, as you point out, are just, you know, some low thing that keep people from walking into the tree. They can trip into the tree, but not walk into it. The bike rack is, yeah, it's rather insignificant. It's just, I think we're in a bit of a bind because the county is indicating that they want all the street amenities to follow through what they've done in the other side of the line, on the orange side. And if I understood it correctly, they're doing that in all their Essex County projects. Am I right, Ryan?
In terms of the amenities, to my knowledge, they're installing these in their Essex County projects.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
These are the same amenities that they proposed in their Main Street project that was presented a couple of months ago. I attended that meeting, when they presented, you know, to you guys. And I know that one of the comments from you or for the commission was to make sure that, you know, we keep it uniformly across the entire township. Now, if you want different benches, I am sure that I could go back to the county engineer and make a case and maybe keep the light fixtures that you originally wanted, which was to match the Edison lighting. If you have any specific benches in mind, I mean, if you can send it to me, I'd be more than happy to, like, you know, bring it in front of the county engineer for approval.
Well, what do we know? Which one did we all agree on at the last meeting last year? Does anyone have a note on that?
My recollection, I don't have any copy of the submissions, but my recollection is that we favored one that was more traditional in terms of the structural support elements. The wood, we said, most likely it would be the fake wood.
Yeah, some kind of resin.
Right.
But the style, I mean, to Heath's point, that's pretty important here.
Yeah, and I feel like it should be black. I mean, obviously not the wood part, but the framework, all of a sudden to introduce something silver seems out of character when everything else is dark.
Okay.
That's correct.
Right. So I think my feeling, you know, and as an aesthetics person, is that if we went with the wood grain look, and we understand, we talked about the hot and cold feature, we talked about, you know, the ability to clean it and maintain it, but it's that stainless or whatever we're looking at, that silver metal. I can't tell, the picture's like this big, but whatever that silver metal is feels out of place with the trash receptacle, the bike guard, the lamps. Yeah, like that park bench we're seeing right there on the left, that picture. Yes, that may be more traditional, but even if that black leg were infused in the image that they're showing us, it would look substantially better. And we'd still have the continuity of the light fixtures throughout our township.
So I understand correctly, you would like to see something, let's say a bench with a black framing like this one, but let's say the seating area would be more like an old wooden color.
Yeah, I think so. Doesn't everybody agree with that?
It's the seating material that we had the most discussion about. I mean, all metal, you know, last week you couldn't have sat on it, you'd have fried your butt. It would have been 100 degrees.
Yeah, but don't we feel that if we had something that was a faux wood kind of a look with at least with a black frame, that it would feel better in the aesthetic?
Well,
Yes,
it would
that's
look better.
where we're at. Yeah.
I think
Well-
that's where we are right now. I mean, obviously this trash can that we're looking at is a lot more, you know, in keeping with the lines of the other pieces. But if the county's telling us we have to go with, if one of these elements stands out as more inconsistent in the aesthetic, I would feel like it would be the bench. That's
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
these were the benches that were agreed to last year.
correct.
Yeah, I was able to find it in our files. These were the ones.
But the county is not doing it that way.
But I think what's being proposed is that we can try again for another bench, like maybe
Yes.
not the whole package, but maybe there's an element of this that we may be able to see if they would, be open-minded about.
So Brian, why don't we do, or Ryan, I'm sorry, why don't we do this? Why don't you try to find a framing black color bench, similar to the one that you showed us, that was shown at the presentation last year. And then instead the seating area and the back to be like an old wooden color, so it's more, aesthetically pleasing and more matching with the character of the lighting. And that way we could like also send it to, the commission, a few options, maybe 2 or 3. They could pick one that they really like, and I could definitely present it to the county engineer. And if he approves, then we could use that. Would that work?
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. We normally use Victor Stanley in their products. That's normally the manufacturer we've had the most success with. But I can see if find a couple. And I'm just clarifying. We want a black bench with a faux wood look on the seating area.
Yeah,
The
sitting and back,
component should be dark.
Yeah, I think that's what we want to explore.
yes, okay.
For the seat and the back. In other words, we're looking for a black frame, but the seating in the back would match and a
Yes.
different material. And again, I'm just gonna go back to what I said the last time. The composite materials, Trex or whatever brand you pick, it's really good because it doesn't need maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. But it does get to be very hot in the summer. It's not as cool as wood. But maybe that's just a compromise we have to make. If we're not gonna go to real wood, which I don't hear any voices in favor of that, it's just something we're gonna have to remember using the composite.
Okay. So you're meeting next week, right?
We are.
Okay, so Ryan, do you think we could be like, at least have like a few choices and then maybe, we could present that next week?
Absolutely. Yep, we can do that.
To
I
like,
can make sure I get it over to Brian as soon as we gather them. That way they have ample time to review.
would that
Or
work?
I'll put you at the front of the meeting. I'd like to keep our discussion, if we can, to 15 or 20 minutes, maximum of 30, because we have another project on the schedule for next week. And
Okay.
it's one that's gonna take time to get through, and we've got to get through it next week.
Okay. All right, sounds like a plan.
And then going back to the lighting, would we want, I think we kind of just went off on went with the benches there. The lighting, do we know what we want to do? I mean, the PSE&G catalog is pretty large, in terms of options. So,
I,
The one you're showing here is the one in front of the Edison site. The others that you sent us, and I did send those cut sheets to everyone. The closest, I think, to that is the one manufactured by Cooper Lighting Solutions, and they call it Streetworks
Street Revolution.
LED Traditionaire. I don't know if folks, yeah, that one. I mean, it's close. It's not exact, but it's close. The other one, the other cut sheet you sent was, no, the dimensions on it were, no, the proportions on it were all wrong. I wouldn't want to see that one. The one called American Revolution.
So which light? So I'm assuming we're going with the Edison type lighting, correct? To keep the lighting uniform across the township.
I believe that's, you know,
That's what we decided last meeting.
In that way.
All right, so that's great. So which type of lighting or model you're looking to use, the Streetworks or the American Revolution LED?
I would vote for Streetworks. If you look
Okay.
at the two, it's a lot closer. Others have an opinion?
Agreed.
I'm fine with that.
I am as well.
What will the city of Orange have on their side?
That I wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay.
Well, maybe they'll follow our lead.
Hopefully.
But okay, excellent. So, in terms of for next week, Brian, you guys just need me to come back with different benching options. Was that all what you wanted to hear back from us?
Well, I mean, I think that's the only one we can push back on, right? I mean, I think we're gonna have to accept the trash receptacles and the size of the tree guards. Folks agree?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Agreed.
All right. So just come back to us with the benches for next week and let's see where we are.
All right,
Okay.
sounds like a
I'm
plan.
curious if these tree guards will actually work with the size of the tree pits that aren't traditional 4x4, 4x6.
When you say works, Heidi, the forester just will never be able to find a tree that's gonna work within that dimension?
No, that, excuse me, that the tree guards themselves come manufactured to fit the tree pit sizes that we have going in.
Yeah. So, I probably should have said this earlier, but that's a very good point. So, these tree guards, basically, this this piece right here can be removed, and it just be an extension off of the side rail for shorter applications, which is probably what we're going to have to do for this specific scenario, since our width is only 3 feet. So this was just a photo we grabbed off of their website so we could show you what it looks like. But this is probably going to be much closer due to the width restrictions.
Much.
Yeah.
And is the open side towards the street?
I would think so.
It is. Yep. It's to prevent any tripping hazards, because the actual tree is going to be, the dirt and whatnot are going to be set below, and it's not going. Yeah.
The tree pit just has mulch on top?
Yeah. It'll be around the grade, but it's just to prevent people from falling into it. So the opening will be will be to the roadway and whatnot. Yeah.
Is it gonna be spelled GAURD?
Well, that's the brand name, right?
That is unfortunately an oversight on our end.
I'm just teasing you. I think we just decided on it. We're gonna go with the county's requirement of matching, but not a matching bench.
I just dropped a picture of a bench in the chat
Yes.
from Victor Stanley. It's item number FM324 that's available in black. The image shows in green, but I think something like that might be appropriate. See what everybody thinks.
That looks nice.
Yeah, it's a good Kenneth Lynch alternative.
right? It's still got that sort of Victorian feel to it, but not too ornate.
Which, did you just post that now, or?
I did. I stuck it in the chat, but it's shown in green, but I see that it's available in black. I just didn't take the time to switch it over to black.
I didn't see it.
Okay, if you open
Open the chat window.
If you go into the chat, Marty, and you click chat, you'll see there's a column that appears on the right-hand side of the page. And right under Heidi's, Heidi dropped something about PSE&G earlier. It's right there. There's an image.
All right, well, let's see.
If you can't find it, I can email it to you later. Don't worry.
Yeah, on the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, I'm clicking on it. All I have under everybody's face is a picture of Brian Forsyth with his
Oh,
head.
lucky you.
All right. Be kind enough to send it.
Of course, I'd be happy to. I'll do that right now. Go ahead. Anyway, I didn't want to disrupt, but I think that's kind of like probably what would be more appropriate.
Does look nice.
If
Yeah,
any,
Heath, why don't you,
for others,
when you-
but go ahead.
why don't you send that to everyone so we have a copy?
Oh, here it is. It popped up on the side.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking for it. Never mind. Yeah, that's almost, it's almost something between traditional and Art Nouveau.
Yeah. Just-
Yeah.
If anything, this is good inspiration that we can look into other alternatives. I'll make sure I send you guys a couple options.
Right.
And then we can go from there.
But that's got the composite rails to it, so I think that's what we had in mind.
Yep. Was there any other comments, questions, concerns about the phase 2 project? I can talk a little bit about the phase 1 status. If not, but just want to make sure everyone got.
Where are we on, maybe you could just update us where we are on phase 1.
Yeah, so phase 1, right now we are currently in our permit application phase. We applied for a flood hazard area individual permit due to the curb bump outs, if you recall, that are within technically a flood hazard area due to the crossing of, I think it's the Van Winkles Brook, right in the vicinity. So the curb bump outs are technically added fill, so we had to apply for a permit, but we submitted all that information to NJDEP. The township gave us the check for the application fees, and now we're right now waiting for DEP to get back to us for permit approval and permit conditions. But the current final design plans are being worked on in the background. So, yep, that's kind of the status of that. We submitted that back in June. In typical NJDEP fashion, normally takes about 90 days for them to get the application reviewed and comments and whatnot. So if we submitted it in June, we're looking at September, maybe October if they ask for an extension. But yeah.
Okay.
But it's not gonna go out to bid until you receive the permit.
Yeah, it cannot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Once we get the permit approval and conditions, then we work out our final design, and then we're hoping to go to bidding end of the year, early next year to start spring construction is the hope of 2027.
The end of 2027?
No, the end of 2026 into 2027. So the idea is to break ground in construction spring of 2027.
Okay.
It's a good thing this isn't an emergency.
It's
2020 award and it's 27 now, yeah.
I'll be honest, this federal grants they take time. That's why I typically tell, everybody, it's gonna be at least 6 years before you hit it, show.
But it's surprised when the price is so much different 6 years from now.
I'm sure it will, but, luckily the grant, is 100%, reimbursable.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of these federal grants.
that's nice.
It may take 8 years, but at least it's reimbursable, so it's free. You know, it's fully federally funded design and
Zero
construction.
cost. Yep.
But is there any chance this whole project could be completed in 27, or is that a dream?
That's a dream. Because once you finish, let's say the preliminary phase, there is at least a 6 months lag back and forth with the DOT and the Federal Highway Administration for, not only the approval, but also for the approval of the proposal for the final design phase. And then, we start the whole process all over again.
Okay,
The township has at least right now 4 grants like this, 2 Safe Routes to School, 2 TAP grants. And we are about to do a kickoff meeting for another TAP grant for the Pleasantdale, section sometime next week. And that one was just awarded last year, so,
I'm sorry, for which section?
Pleasantdale,
Yeah.
Pleasant Valley Way.
Yeah, sure.
So we have to be patient.
All right.
Well, if anybody else has any other comments, Brian has my email. Feel free to circulate that, Brian, if anyone has any specific comments they want to ask. But it looks like we'll be here for next week as well. I'll make sure I get those bench options over to you as soon as possible. That way we can coordinate that with you guys.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. See you next week.
All right.
Thank you all very much. Have a good one.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you too.
for allowing us to present this.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
As I say, there was nothing else on the agenda for tonight, unless someone else has something they want to bring up. I'd like to close the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second and third that.